Now that I've shared my updated hair care routines, I am finally answering 20 of the questions that you guys ask me about hair health, hair products, hair care routines, and the Abbey Young method the most. Let's dive in. Is low porosity / high porosity real? Do I need to know what porosity I have and build a routine based on it? I don't really know what's going on with this, but over the last several months, I've noticed a massive influx in videos talking about porosity and porosity-based hair care routines. Just a lot of videos saying different variations of the same thing, like you can't do this if you have high porosity. You have to use these products if you have low porosity. Here's how to figure out your porosity at home. My hair was so damaged until I switched to a hair care routine based on my porosity. I already had my thoughts on all of this. I knew what I had learned in reading about hair science, but in saying that, I obviously recognize the fact that that doesn't mean that I know everything there is to know about this topic. I absolutely don't. It's technical, it's complex, so I think all of that combined with seeing just how highly debated this is on social media made me want to reach out to chemists to get their expert point of view and see what their take is. And once I read through what each of those chemists had to say, I was like, okay, people need to hear this. This will be the only question that I answer by playing another video, but I know that not all of you watching this video right now see my short form content, so for those of you that are long form YouTube viewers only, here it is. You do not need to build a hair care routine based on porosity. And even if you needed to, your at-home test to try to figure out what your porosity is wouldn't even work. Let me explain. A lot of people online talk about porosity as if it's a hair type. You're either low porosity or high porosity, and you're supposed to choose products and build a routine based on that. But in everything I've read about hair science, porosity is not defined that way. It's described as a measure of damage, not a hair type. And the higher the porosity, the more damaged the hair. But don't just take my word for it. I asked 6 brilliant chemists to share their thoughts on this, and you need to hear what they said. PhD chemist Dr. Helene says porosity is about damage. Low porosity means your cuticle is laying flat and healthy. High porosity means your hair is damaged. At-home methods to test for porosity are useless. You'd need extensive lab equipment to determine it. Next is Thin, a chemistry and cosmetic science graduate student. He explains that porous hair is just hair that is damaged and has lost structural components like proteins and lipids, creating gaps and holes in the hair structure. He also mentioned that people on the internet tend to think that hair porosity is the ability of hair to hold onto moisture or water, but that this doesn't really make sense because water can go in and out of hair regardless of how healthy and undamaged it is. Pause to read the rest. And also pause to read everything from Angela, a cosmetic chemist and certified trichologist. She says, low porosity hair is not a bad thing. It's the healthiest state your hair can be in. Over time, through wear, styling, or chemical processes, hair naturally becomes more porous. Because of that, it's not practical to build a whole routine strictly around porosity. PhD chemist Dr. Michelle has debunked the entire at-home float test. She explains that whether or not your hair floats in water does not depend on whether it lets water inside the hair. Many factors impact whether your hair floats or sinks, like the surface of your hair, the type of damage that you have, and product residues. If your hair sinks, it probably needs conditioner. Alexandra is a chemist and brings up something a lot of people don't realize, that porosity can vary on each individual hair strand on your head. Usually the hair near your scalp will naturally have a lower porosity than your ends. She also agrees that trying to figure out your porosity is a waste of time, and often the solution is to just properly condition your hair. Javon is a cosmetic chemist and says that porosity is only really something to think about when hair is damaged, and the porosity test has no study backing it. Also, a lot of what folks consider to be low porosity is really just product buildup that needs to be removed with clarifying or detox shampoos. So bottom line, you can stop worrying about trying to figure out your porosity and trying to build an entire routine based on it. A much more reliable way to get the best possible results is to focus on building a routine that properly cleanses, conditions, repairs, and protects. So there you have it. And I did see a couple comments on that video saying something along the lines of like, I'm not listening to somebody with straight hair talk about this. And on the one hand, I totally understand that sentiment. I've obviously never had the personal experience of caring for curly hair myself. I'm not going to try to act like I understand what that's like and all the ins and outs of it. But 4 of those chemists that shared their thoughts on this topic have naturally curly hair. So they're able to explain their thoughts on this topic with that personal perspective in mind, but at the same time, still just sharing what they have learned about the actual science of porosity. Is it okay to use bond repair shampoo and conditioners multiple times a week? Do I need to alternate bond repair with other products? Yes, it's totally fine to use bond repair multiple times a week. And it's not like you have to alternate bond repair with other kinds of shampoos and conditioners because it's bad for your hair not to, but you may want to get other benefits, which I'll touch more on in a second. But I think what this really comes down to is that people are scared to overuse bond repair because of these myths that are out there about protein overload. So it's important to keep in mind that that's not how bond strengthening or bond repair products work. And something that I think happens quite often is that someone will try out a new bond repair system and have a bad experience with it because it didn't agree with their hair type, but then assume that bond repair as a general category is bad for their hair. But that's something that can happen with hair products in any category, not just bond repair, because there's no one shampoo and conditioner set that's going to work the exact same for every single person. I have tried many bond repair systems that I was not a fan of at all, in the exact same way that I've tried out moisturizing or hydrating or volumizing or clarifying systems that I didn't like either. So finding a system that works well with your hair type and gives you the results that you're looking for is what's most important, and definitely just takes some time and trial and error. But once you have found that, you don't need to alternate. But if you want to alternate between bond repair and something else because you love the way it makes your hair feel, you really enjoy the products, you like the benefits you get from those other kinds of products, you can absolutely do that too. That's something that I'm doing even more of recently. Honestly, mostly just because I'm seriously loving the new L'Oreal glossing systems. Like, they're just so good. So when I am alternating between bond repair and something else, or even different kinds of bond repair systems, like maybe one brand to another, it's just because I'm enjoying the experience, benefits, and results I get with that other system, not because I'm worried about overusing bond repair or using the same kinds of products so much that it will cause damage. That's not something you have to worry about. I think really the only caveat to that is, of course, the fact that I recommend integrating a deep cleaning shampoo into your routine at least once a week. I think it's super important for scalp health, and it also helps to kind of just reset the lengths and ends of your hair to prevent them from feeling weighed down, stiff, dry, heavy, greasy, which is something we're going to touch on more in this next question. Because the question is, I tried your routine, but my hair felt really weighed down and greasy. What did I do wrong? Well, maybe you used the new heat protectant that I tested out today, because same. There are kind of 4 main culprits of this problem, and they are: number 1, using conditioning products that are too heavy for your hair; number 2, using too many conditioning products; number 3, using a shampoo that deposits a heavier amount of conditioning ingredients; and number 4, using a shampoo that's too gentle and does not properly remove the amount of buildup that you have. You can end up with hair that feels heavy and dirty from just one of those problems. So if you have more than one going on at once, it'll just amplify the issue. So some immediate solutions for this would be: number 1, using a deep cleaning shampoo; number 2, using a conditioner that either delivers a lighter amount of conditioning or isn't really conditioning at all. Deep cleaning or clarifying shampoos tend to be good examples of this. Number 3, using fewer conditioning products, and especially those that are more likely to contribute to weigh down, like pre-shampoo oil treatments, hair masks, and leave-in creams and oils. And number 4, using lighter conditioning products, like more lightweight conditioners and masks, bond repair treatments, leave-ins, etc. I just finished my series on my favorite hair care products in every essential hair category, and I kind of rank those products in terms of weight, like from the lightest to the heaviest. So if you need more help figuring this out and finding products that are going to be the best fit for your hair type, those videos will be listed below. So if this is a problem that you're experiencing, you could either experiment with those 4 different solutions or immediately strip back your routine to something much more basic, like a lightweight shampoo that effectively cleans, a conditioner or a hair mask, and a leave-in conditioning spray with heat protection. Then you can see how your hair feels with just those products and build and change your routine from there, one product at a time. I totally understand getting super excited to test out a whole new hair care routine with all new products, but that makes it so much more difficult to figure out what exactly is causing your issue, versus if you just change one product at a time, then you can accurately assess how that product is making your hair look and feel. Do you have any recommendations for how to maintain healthy hair while still dyeing it or highlighting it blonde? My entire routine. I've seen this question so many times, which makes me realize that there are still a lot of people out there that think that this is my natural hair color when it's not. The color of my hair has certainly evolved quite a bit since starting my hair journey. So for those of you that are newer here, this is what it used to look like. That is the state my hair was in when I started getting really into learning about hair science, testing out bond repair products for the first time, and building a routine focused on repair, protection, and conditioning. Since then, the hair care routine has honestly exploded. So there are obviously tons of products products that I'm using now that didn't exist back then. But this severe bleach damage is the whole reason I built this routine, and those key components of my routine, repair, protection, conditioning, haven't changed since then. Even though the exact products that I'm using have, and the way I get my hair colored definitely has as well. If you want to see exactly how I get my hair colored, I will list my most recent hair salon vlog in the description box below. But again, my entire routine really includes all of my recommendations for maintaining healthy hair while coloring it and while using heat, because I do both. If I am using a post-wash leave-in conditioner or styling product with bond repair, like the OGX Heat Protect Spray, K18 Astro Lift, Redken Acidic Bonding Serum, do I need a separate post-wash bond repair treatment? Okay, my initial reaction to this is no. You don't have to use a separate bond repair treatment post-wash, especially if you're already using one in a different part of your routine. Obviously, you guys know that I like doing that, but I just want to make sure that I'm reiterating the fact for anyone who's newer to my channel that my thought process is never, you have to follow my exact step-by-step routine if you want to see good results. No. Instead, I see it more as like, here are all the different options that you have that will give you good results. Test some products out and pick and choose from all of these recommendations based on what works best for you. But the reason why I still like to use a separate standalone bond repair treatment post-wash, even if I'm also using something like OGX Heat Protect or K18 Astro Lift, is because those kinds of leave-ins typically don't have as much of that reparative technology as the actual treatments do. Like for example, I told you guys about this Pantene essence in my last video, and in speaking with their head scientist about it, she told me specifically that while their other Miracle Rescue leave-ins also contain panthenol for repair purposes, this treatment contains the highest amount of it. So if you have really damaged hair, or you just inflict a lot of damage to your hair on a regular basis with coloring and heat styling, you may see even better results if you also use a separate standalone bond repair treatment in addition to anything else that you're using post-wash that may also have some bond repair technology. But again, there are many other places that you can integrate bond repair treatments into your hair care routine, so if this one doesn't work out for you, skip it. Dang, I'm actually really sad about this heat protectant. I wanted it to work so well because it's new drugstore one. Okay, this next question is kind of related, so I'm gonna answer it here. If I'm using a post-wash bond repair serum like Redken, Garnier, or Pureology, should I apply it before or after my leave-in conditioning spray? All right, I have a lot of thoughts. Shocking, I know. On the one hand, yes, you'll likely get better penetration of the bond repairing actives in these serums if you apply them first before your leave-in spray or any other leave-in. But on the other hand, that may not give you the results that you're looking for if you are somebody that really needs the additional conditioning benefits that these serums have to offer. Hair is naturally more tangled and clumped together when it's wet, and if you have severe damage, that tangling can be extreme. I know from experience. I know that when my hair was severely damaged and severely tangled as a result, I found it really difficult to apply products evenly, especially if it wasn't a spray. So it worked a lot better for me to apply my leave-in spray first, use that to detangle my hair, because that's super important to have that protection and slip to detangle, and then apply something like a serum or a cream to get significantly better coverage on my strands and that extra conditioning that I desperately needed. I have tested all three of these serums both before and after leave-in conditioner, and I have to say that applying them after my leave-in conditioner still makes my hair feel great. Softer, smoother, sleeker, even more conditioned. So the order in which you apply products like this is really up to you, what your top priorities are in using a serum and what's going on with your hair, because I think there's valid arguments for both approaches. My hair air dries frizzy. Does that mean it's not healthy? Not at all. While frizz can definitely be a symptom of damage, it's important to realize that damage is not the only cause of frizz. Some hair types are just more naturally prone to frizz than others, and this is exacerbated in hot, humid climates, even when your hair is in the healthiest state possible. And I've gotten questions before like, what do? I heard that air drying is best for my hair, but I don't like how frizzy my hair gets when I air dry it. And to that I say, there's ways to integrate heated drying into your routine without it being excessively damaging. What I have personally done for years and years now is let my hair air dry the majority of the way, like 80%, and then finish up with a blow dryer for that final 20% instead of blow drying from soaking wet to dry. But I also recognize that that doesn't work for everybody, and if that's the case and you need to blow dry longer than that, there are still several options you have for making it less damaging. You can lower your heat setting on your dryer. You can hold your dryer at a distance from your hair instead of right up close next to it. You can continuously move your dryer around your head instead of holding it in one place for too long. You can do 1, 2, or all 3 of those things first before going in with styling or round brush attachments. There are a lot of options. It's just about figuring out what gives you the results that you're looking for. But however you choose to dry, just know that you can absolutely still have healthy hair even if it air dries frizzy. There's nothing wrong with that. What's the one hair product you would recommend over anything else? This is the hardest question I've ever been asked. Now that I have tried so many products and have so much feedback from you guys on each of those products, there's truly not one single product I can look at. Sorry, how many times am I going to say product in one sentence? There's not one single thing I can look at objectively and be like, this is the one. This is what everybody needs. It's going to deliver the same amazing results on every single person, on every single hair type, no matter what. That product doesn't exist. Like, no joke, I could run down the list of all of my product recommendations and share the top complaints about each and every one of them. Like even K18, let's use that as an example because that was my initial gut reaction. You won't find the patented technology that K18 utilizes in any other products from any other brands. But that doesn't mean it has no downsides. The mode of application combined with the limits to the amount of product that you can apply make it more difficult to apply evenly than most other bond repair treatments. And I think that's one of the reasons why there are a lot of people out there that don't feel they saw a big enough improvement in their hair to make the purchase of K18 worth it. Also, I've seen plenty of comments from people over the years saying that K18 made their hair feel dry or brittle or excessively tangled. So I recognize that while the technology is incredible and not something you can find somewhere else, it's not a perfect product and it won't work for everybody. But thankfully, if it didn't work for you, there are so many other options for bond repair treatments out there that can still deliver amazing results. So to answer the original question, genuinely nothing. Even if it's not a dupe, there's at least an alternative to every single product I recommend if it didn't work out for you. And hopefully that answer makes you feel better knowing that you can achieve healthy hair with many different products and you're not SOL if you didn't love something that so many other people swear by. How do I adapt your routine for curly hair? Truly, however you want to. If you missed my recent video talking about how to find the best conditioning products for your hair type, I highly recommend watching it because I talk about the misconceptions surrounding curly hair care in that video. But this idea that you're limited to using specific products or brands that explicitly state that they're for curly hair is just not true. All hair types and curl patterns can, keyword can, use the exact same shampoos, conditioners, masks, etc. But not all of those products are going to work the same for everybody and make everybody's hair feel exactly the same, so it really all just comes down to what you like best for your own hair. Which makes me kind of feel like a broken record because I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but it really is the main takeaway for so many of these common hair care concerns. And I think the best way to figure this out is by making changes to your routine slowly, like we talked about earlier, like one product at a time. Then you can assess how your hair feels with that one product change, and if there's something that you're not liking about your results, like let's say your curls are harder to detangle or your curls are way down, then you know what product caused that and what you need to change to get better results. And then of course, when it comes to styling your curls, you can use whatever you'd like to style in whatever way works best for you. So that could be a mousse, a gel, a cream, truly anything goes and can be used however you'd like in your healthy hair care routine. I have bad breakage at my crown that looks frizzy. Do I treat it with bond repair like the rest of my hair? This is so common. First, let me just say that we are always going to have little sprouts of hair at the crown of our head because number one, we have new growth coming in there that's not concealed by layers of hair on top of it. And number two, the hair in that area is often one of the first victims of mechanical manipulation like brushing and styling, so some breakage is inevitable. However, I totally understand that that can be extreme for some people and can create that frizzy look that we want to get rid of. When it comes to using bond repair on this area, really the only types of bond repair treatments that I would recommend using would be either a Pre or that Pantene Essence. I think it'd be difficult to apply something like K18 or L'Oreal or Redken without it weighing down your roots and making it look greasy, but Pantene and a Pre solve that issue because they're very weightless, watery sprays. If you don't want to use a Pre or Pantene, you could also stick to just using bond repair shampoos since that's meant to be applied to that area of our head anyway. But in saying that, I don't think that bond repair alone is enough to solve this issue because again, the main culprit of this is often mechanical wear and tear. So I would take a really close critical look at how you're styling your hair and make adjustments there if you can. Are you often using styling brush or round brush attachments and just kind of pulling them roughly through your hair? Are you getting impatient while you're brushing and just ripping your hair through tangles? Do you need a better leave-in that gives your hair more slip to prevent your brush from catching and causing breakage? Solving these issues will make a very big difference in the long run, but I also understand that they don't don't immediately address the issue of how things look right now. So here's a couple other things that you can do to kind of smooth that over, literally. Number one is to use a shampoo that has smoothing and conditioning properties. When you use a deep cleaning shampoo that is not depositing conditioning agents, it can definitely make breakage and flyaways just look more apparent. So while I don't think the solution is to stop using deep cleaning shampoos, I do think that integrating a shampoo that has those conditioning properties can really help to smooth things. And that could be something like L'Oreal Glossing, Dove Intensive Repair, or Dove Bond Strength, Pureology Strength Cure. It'll just take some trial and error to figure out what smooths and cleanses enough for your hair, but it can make a big difference. And number two, when in doubt, don't be afraid to use a wax stick or pomade. As long as you're getting a good clean after using them, there's no harm in a little temporary sticking to help flatten all of that out. When should I consider using more than one shampoo during a single wash sesh? I love this question. So let me start off by saying that you do not need to use more than one shampoo in a single wash day. But if you're someone that likes to double shampoo or shampoo 2 times in a row in one wash, you may like using 2 different shampoos to get different kinds of benefits. So one example could be if you have a shampoo that gives you benefits that you really like let's say bond repair or smoothing or shine, but doesn't quite clean as much as you need it to. In that situation, you may like your results even better if you use a deep cleaning or clarifying shampoo first and then your benefit related shampoo second. Another example could be if you need to use medicated shampoos for itching and flaking, but you also like using a second shampoo on top of that because it gives you benefits that your medicated shampoo does not. In that case, you could use your medicated shampoo first and your benefit related, we'll call it, shampoo second. So while you absolutely do not need to use more than one shampoo in one wash, you may be somebody that likes your results best if you mix and match a little bit. And if that's the case, go for it. Actually, I got a question about medicated shampoo that builds off that, so let's do that one next. When should I swap medicated shampoo for another kind? For example, clarifying. So outside of the benefit related thing we just talked about, the other main reason to consider using something instead of your medicated shampoo would be for better cleaning. While a lot of medicated shampoos do a really great job of cleaning, like for example, Head & Shoulders Classic Clean, that's something that I would consider to be deeper cleaning. Not all of them are like that. Some are quite gentle and don't serve that purpose very well. So I would just make sure that you're using something that does give you that deeper cleanse at least once a week, if not more, but that doesn't mean that it has to replace your medicated shampoo. You could definitely just add a deep cleaning shampoo to the same wash so that you're still getting the relief you need from the medicated shampoo, or you could even alternate between medicated shampoos that are gentler and deeper cleaning if that works better for you also. Still confused about K18. Can I rinse out and use conditioner after or not? This has to be within my top 5 most frequently asked questions of all time, and I get it. This confusion all came about because when K18 initially launched, their instructions specifically stated that you should shampoo, skip conditioner, get out of the shower, towel dry your hair, and then apply K18. That's how I originally tested it out several years ago, and while I absolutely saw improvements in my hair, it wasn't without issue. My hair was really bleach damaged at that point, so skipping conditioner to use K18 just made it very tangled and difficult to manage. And I am just such a firm believer in the fact that we really need conditioner to protect our hair and prevent breakage. Since then, K18 has clarified that the reason why those were their original instructions is because the product needs 4 minutes to penetrate your hair fiber and deliver that repair. If you were to re-wet your hair or apply more product during that 4-minute period, it would interfere with the ability of K18 to penetrate and work as effectively as possible. But if you wait those full 4 minutes, you can do whatever you want to your hair after and it won't impact the ability of K18 to repair. Because the way that K18 works is inside our hair fiber. So rinsing after that 4-minute period is not gonna release those active ingredients from inside your hair fiber. Applying conditioner after is not gonna stop those ingredients that have already penetrated from working. And it's the same exact reason why you're able to shampoo and condition and rinse after using pre-shampoo bond repair treatments. Rinsing after using those kinds of products is just rinsing away the residue that's on the outside of your hair fiber. While we are talking about K18, let's answer this next. Can you discuss K18 saying that the product should not be emulsified first? Yes. So I believe that this is referring to a video that K18 posted on their own account a while ago that talked about K18 misconceptions. And one of the misconceptions that they addressed was the fact that you need to rub K18 back and forth between your hands to activate it first before applying it. So naturally people started tagging me in that video like, wait, what? I thought you said to emulsify it. What do we do? But because people have misunderstood the reason for doing that and have said things like K18 won't work if you don't emulsify it, or K18 needs to be activated by emulsifying it first, those things are not true. K18 K18 will work whether you emulsify it or not, and you don't need to do anything to activate it. It's already active, whatever that means. I guess something they were probably also wanting to clarify is the fact that you shouldn't be emulsifying K18 with water like you would a shampoo. You don't want to add any water at all. The only reason why I started rubbing K18 back and forth between my hands is only because it makes it easier for me to apply it evenly. When I dispense 2 pumps of product, this is what it looks like. If I were to just put that straight on my hair and try to apply it like a conditioner or something, so many of my hair strands and the lengths of so many of my hair strands would not get any product at all. The way that I've kind of hacked this to try to get it to cover as many and as much of my hair strands as possible is to rub it back and forth between my hands first. It's not perfect, and I still can't evenly cover all of my hair with that amount of product no matter what, but it's how I make it work. Please clarify when to use pre-shampoo oil treatments in conjunction with a spray or other pre-shampoo bond treatments. Okay, so this is my approach. If I plan to use one of these bond repair treatments in the shower, I do not apply a pre-shampoo oil treatment. The reason for doing that is, again, because bond repair treatments need to be able to penetrate our hair fiber to work effectively, so any thick layer of product coating on our hair could interfere with the ability of it to do that. If I'm not using a treatment in the shower, but I'm using a spray before the shower, what I will do is apply a spray first, wait 10 minutes for it to penetrate my hair, and then apply my pre-shampoo oil treatment after. So if you are someone that likes using these kinds of treatments before shampoo, then what you could do is just alternate between pre-shampoo bond repair days and pre-shampoo oil days. Or again, you could just skip oil altogether because it's not a requirement, it's just something that can help if your hair is feeling really dry and tangled. If bond repair makes my hair feel dry and brittle, does that mean bond repair damages my hair? I've seen a lot of videos talking about bond repair damaging people's hair, but there are several other things that I think are much more likely to be going on here than that. And they're actually very similar to what we talked about earlier when discussing hair that feels really weighed down and greasy. So I'll reframe those key points in the lens of bond repair to explain why it may be making your hair feel dry and brittle. Number 1, the bond repair products you're using are too heavy for your hair. Number 2, you're using too many bond repair products that when combined build up to feel heavy. Like for example, a creamy bond repair shampoo and treatment, a thick bond repair conditioner and mask, a heavy bond repair leave-in. I honestly think that this is what happened with Olaplex and why so many people started hating their results, because a lot of their products are pretty dang heavy. And because they have so many products in their lineup, using several of them or even all of them in the same routine can just be a lot for some hair types, especially those that have really fine thin hair. Number 3, your bond repair shampoo deposits a heavier amount of conditioning ingredients. Number 4, your bond repair shampoo is very gentle and doesn't remove the level of buildup that you have. And then to build on that, some other potential culprits could be that your hair is just not conditioned well enough. I think about this with K18 specifically for anyone who follows those initial instructions to skip conditioner altogether. And last, the bond repair products that you're using are just not the best fit for your hair type, and there are other products that you could switch to that will give you much better results. So yes, it's absolutely true that bond repair products can make your hair feel dry, brittle, stiff, frizzy, weighed down, or just generally unpleasant. But that doesn't mean that the active bond repair technology that again is penetrating your hair fiber is causing damage. It just means that there's something about the product or products that you're using that are not working for your hair. So the solution to each of these problems would be, number 1, try a more lightweight bond repair system. Number 2, use fewer heavy bond repair products, like maybe just pick 1 to 2 products from a brand's lineup instead of the entire system. Number 3, swap out the bond repair shampoo for a lighter shampoo that is not particularly conditioning. Number 4, swap out the bond repair shampoo for a shampoo that cleans better or is deep cleaning / clarifying. Number 5, condition after K18. And number 6, test out different bond repair systems altogether to find a better fit. How do you modify your hair routine when traveling? I feel like I'm not the best person to answer this because I'm extra and beauty is my job, so I definitely bring more than I would say is necessary. But if I were to make a list of hair care essentials for travel, I would say number 1, a chelating shampoo or something designed to deep clean and remove metals and minerals so that you can get a proper clean after swimming, a conditioner or hair mask, a leave-in conditioner with both heat and UV protection, and something that's really good at preventing frizz if you're going somewhere hot and humid like Color Wow Dream Coat. Are cream cleansers such as New Wash healthy for hair? No. So I actually did a test with New Wash, I think like 5 years ago now, before I knew what I know now about hair care, and I want to die inside thinking about the fact that I substituted conditioner for shampoo for an entire month. Because that's ultimately what most of these cream cleansers really are, conditioner. So knowing what I know now, I could never ever recommend using conditioner in place of a product that has been specifically designed to properly cleanse and rid your scalp of sebum, dirt, pollutants, buildup, etc. Making your hair softer and more manageable is absolutely important, and that ultimately is kind of why I fell into the trap of testing that out in the first place, because from what I remember, again, it was 5 years ago, those were the big claims. But now I know that you don't have to skip shampoo and neglect the health of your scalp in order to achieve those things. What products do you recommend to keep hair color bright and vibrant? Hands down, my number one recommendation is a really good chelating shampoo. I was actually listening to a hair science lecture where they talked about this recently, and I found it really fascinating because they were talking about the fact that chelating shampoos are not only important to use after salon visits to maintain your color, but they're also important to use before that salon visit to make sure that your color takes and develops as best as possible. And the reason for that is because chelating shampoos can help to remove metals and minerals that accumulate in our hair and negatively alter our color. And the best way to determine if your shampoo has chelating properties or not is to look out for that terminology in the product claims. But to save you the trouble of hunting, some of my top recommendations for this include L'Oreal Metal Detox, L'Oreal Clarify, K18 Detox, and Weight Detox. Is there anything I can do for postpartum hair loss? Are those expensive supplements worth it? All right, let's set the record straight on this. In my trichology course, postpartum hair loss was categorized as a form of temporary, self-correcting, diffuse hair loss. And this type of hair loss typically begins about 2 to 3 months after the event that caused the loss. And it will often continue for several months before the hair growth cycle normalizes. That period of diffuse loss or shedding can definitely last longer for some women than it does others, but on average, the hair growth cycle seems to normalize around that 6-month point without medication. If it doesn't, and that excessive shedding continues for extended periods of time, that's when it's time to go see your doctor. You can get blood work done, see if there are any other underlying causes of loss that can be addressed, because that's something a lot of people don't realize, that you can have more than one cause of hair loss going on at the exact same time. And to answer your question about expensive supplements for a solution to this problem, so I have previously talked about my beef with companies like Nutrafol before, not because they don't work, but because of the way that they have allowed influencers to talk about the way their products work for postpartum hair loss. And I say allow because when you're creating sponsored content for a brand, you have to get it approved before posting it. They have to say yes before you click upload. So one of the examples I've shared for this before is that I have a friend who followed an influencer who actually gave birth the exact same week as her. And so she was watching her postpartum journey, obviously just nice to see someone going through the same thing as you at the exact same time. And through that, she saw that they were following the exact same trajectory with hair shedding and then subsequent regrowth. My friend didn't take anything for hair loss or regrowth. So she wasn't taking any supplements, she wasn't applying anything topically, she was just, letting her body work through that naturally. So imagine her surprise when she sees this influencer post an ad saying that the only reason her hair is growing back postpartum is because of Nutrafol. That is on the brand to make sure that they're not approving sponsored content that makes claims like that. Because most people, rightfully so, don't understand all of the ins and outs of hair loss and regrowth. So now anyone who sees that ad and doesn't have the appropriate context could believe that their hair will not grow back postpartum unless they use a supplement like Nutrafol. So my judgment isn't on the people who choose to use these supplements or even the supplements themselves. Well, some supplements I am judging because they're complete gimmicks, but that's not how I feel about Nutrafol. I know a lot of people have experienced incredible results in using it, and I'm not saying that it's bad to try something like that or that a supplement like that couldn't have benefit. I just think the brands that sell products in this space need to do a better job of being honest with their consumers in any and all forms of advertising. So I just wanted to make sure to clarify that because I feel like some people saw that original video I posted talking about Nutrafol and took that to mean that I think it's, a BS product that can't work and you should never buy. That's not the case at all. I was just feeling frustrated by these sponsorships I was seeing and felt like they needed to do a better job on what they allowed influencers to post and what they did not. And maybe that's improved since. To be honest, I haven't really seen that many Nutrafol ads lately, so it's highly possible that it has. So if you choose to go the supplement route, that is totally your choice. I don't judge you. I understand wanting to test something like that out. I would just highly recommend consulting with a doctor first before doing so. If you don't want to go down the supplement route, but you still want to apply something that could help, another potential route that you could go down here is to use a topical anti-shedding or hair fall treatment. Well, I don't know of anything that exists at this point in time that has the ability to completely prevent all postpartum shedding altogether. A topical treatment could definitely be something that helps to at least reduce shedding and promote healthy regrowth depending on what you're using. I often talk about the Nioxin Hair Fall Defense Serum because that has really impressive technology in it for hair fall, so that could be one you try. You know what? I think I need to make a video talking about all the different types of hair loss serums out there and how to navigate this space, because there are a lot of technologies out there and they don't all do the same thing or work in the same way. So let me know if you're interested. That's going to take a lot of research and prep if you want it, but I can do it if you want me to. So if you do decide to go down the topical route and you want to test something out, just know that regardless of what you choose to use, you need to make sure that you're using it proactively, because it can take 10 to 12 weeks for some of these products to show improvement. That's all we have time for. I fear for the length of this video. I was severely underestimating the amount of time it was going to take to answer all 20 of these. We'll see how editor Emily works her magic here. I'm scared. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer in this video, leave them in the comments below and let me know if you would like to see a part 2 just like this. I can definitely do that if you're interested. But either way, thank you so much for watching this video and all of my videos. I love the freaking heck out of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for my next one because that will be up a week from today. But until then, I'm going to wash this gunk out of my hair. I'm like, how is this making my hair feel greasy yet dry at the same time? And we hope you have a great week.